standing on the Marktplatz in Waldsee. We have several large buildings here. Many of them, some of them have actually, it looks like they have, these buildings were merged from 3 different pieces. There's a tower in the middle, a fairly large roof on the left part of the building, and just the opposite on the other side. So it's a very complex building. But what we are really interested in about the buildings is how can they be made more energy efficient? We don't want to take them down, but what can we do to make them more efficient, especially when it's cold or when it's really hot? It goes both ways. Yeah, so some of the things that can be done is to look at these buildings and think about how, if we were to make smaller replicas of these buildings, they don't have to be exactly the same, but they should have structurally in similar shape, and we can ultimately take these smaller replicas that we are building to see which ones are more efficient when it comes to insulation. But I think it's better if we look at these buildings, make small replicas of them. They don't have to be exactly the same way, but they show us the different roof types and walls and stuff, and we will test them to figure out how well insulated they are. And there is we have an established routine how we get there. Their kids build their own structures. First, they build a very simple, basically a 4x4, not 4x4, but a wooden structure that has the same wall length or type. Then they have to think about what kind of roof they want to have. The buildings are all closed. They are open on the bottom, and then they can add different roof structures on top. They also have to consider what kind of insulation they would like to attach to the walls or the roof underneath the final structure there, to compare them to other buildings that have less or more or no insulation. And there is, it requires that they also come up with a plan how to compare these buildings to figure out which buildings stay the coolest. Yeah, we're not trying to measure how hot which building is we want to know which one is the hottest, but that's not what, doesn't help us in the summer. We want to know which building can stay the coolest, and that's the challenge. The final step for them is to we add frozen water. Everyone has the same amount. That we put them into their buildings, and we observe them for usually half an hour, and we actually capture the Schmelzwasser, the meltwater is captured, measured exactly in the biohouse, and then we can assess which building produced the least amount of water, which equals it was the best insulated.